What is a team? When individuals with similar interest, attitude, or a goal come together to achieve a common objective, then a team is formed. So basically, team is people coming together to work for a common purpose or to attain a common goal or to have a similar interest. Now, in this team, it is essential that everybody would have to perform equally and give their level best, because if you want the team to achieve its goal, it is essential that each one takes accountability of their jobs and they give their optimum best out so that they can meet the goal with whatever the team has been formed. So for that, the team has to strive hard to live up to the expectations which have been made by others for them, and they have to successfully accomplish for whatever task that they have come together. A team cannot do well if they're not focused, they're not serious, they're not accountable for their responsibilities. It is in this place where team building comes to an important aspect. It is easier to make a team, but building it takes time. Building is to get the team to function so that they attain whatever goal that they have come to it. And for that, some effort has to be put in by the leader of the team. That is where team building concept comes into. Team building is about the various activities which are undertaken to motivate the team members so that they increase their output, increase their performance, and this is where the role of the manager or of the leader is very important. So team building would call for various tasks which are undertaken to groom the team member, to motivate him when he is feeling dejected or is not doing his optimum best, so they actually start performing better. There may be members in a team which actually do better work than others. So in that case, you need to actually appreciate those team members because they're doing exceptional work. When you appreciate one member, he will to definitely be motivated to do the work. But others also, when they see that, okay, this member has been appreciated, even they would want to do their better, optimum best. There may be times that where people make mistakes or they're not doing a performance up to the mark. In that case, you need to give a feedback, but which is very constructive. It's keeping in mind that you do not hurt that person or you do not embarrass that person. So criticism has to be constructive, keeping in mind that the team members are doing their optimum best. You need to boost them up, give them some kind of rewards. In terms of punishment, you have to see that it is in a very constructive manner. Now, why do we need team building? We need team building because it would help for the teams to function better. So there is a need to have a team building. Team building is essential because it would make it very clear to everybody in the team on what purpose are we working, on what purpose the team has been formed. So it gets to set clear objectives of why the team has been formed. There may be very many organizational goals, but the team would be formed to attain only specific certain goals. So those goals have to be very clear to the team members that why have we come together as a team, what is the direction we are working on, and what each one of us needs to put in so that these objectives and these goals have been made. Before any team actually starts working, it is ideal that these objectives and goals are also formed with the consensus of the team members. You get them together also to form the goal, so then action plan would be all the more better. Also, the team members need to have commitment. There has to be commitment among the team members. You can't have that there's only the team leader who's passionately working amongst the entire lot and others are not as committed. Or there's only few members who are doing the work and others are not doing. But even when the team would get some reward, so what would happen? Very soon, either the committed members would also lose interest or the team would just meet its failure. So you need to build commitment amongst team members, and that can be only done when you involve them in the entire process. You get them to work on it by showing them what their responsibilities are, how are they going to achieve plans, what key areas they need to function on. So commitment of the team members is to be sought for a team to really function in the best optimum manner and meet success. Also, there needs to be interaction amongst team members. There needs to be effective communication. Otherwise, team members will just separately work and will not be able to function as a whole. There would be individual people working, but for a team to actually function and work so that the goals are attained, you need to interact with each other, be on the same page how the goals are being attained, Also have effective communication so that everybody knows where one is heading, what goals are to be done, how tasks are to be delegated, who is doing what in the team. So there has to be clear, open interaction. There may be time where people are not agreeing to each other, but lines of communication have to be kept open. There has to be intervention, coping mechanisms where people know that they can communicate, share knowledge, what is there, share ideas, interact so that there is better understanding. So good interaction among team members and lines of communication have to be open. The team member has to, or the team leader has to channelize communication amongst people. If he realizes that the interaction between the few team members are lacking, then he is to see that they do that thing. Otherwise, the team would not attain its optimum best. Also, there has to be time when decision has to be taken up and there has to be a definite decision making process. You just can't be random in taking decisions. We have already seen there's various decision making styles that we adopt. So there has to be a proper mechanisms how decisions are to be done. It is not that one person will just take the decision and everybody has to blindly follow. There has to be involvement amongst all team members for taking decision involvement so that they feel that yes, they are doing something in the process of team building. Any important decision is applicable to every member of the team. So consensus have to be sought that everybody is happy about this decision. It is an open decision making process where you get ideas what others are feeling and then take in decision keeping in mind the welfare of everybody. Now for any kind of team building, there has to be certain rules that have to be followed. Otherwise, team building would not be possible. You need to first see it is a team that you are working. It is not just an individual who is functioning, but a group of individuals who have come together to function. So in this case, you need to consider that each employee's ideas have been taken into consideration. Everybody has some say how the team would operate. Everybody is clear how whatever they say is going to be taken into account. It is going to be deemed as valuable. So that has to be taken care also. Everybody cannot be always expressive. There will be times where things have to be understood by the body language. You need to say that even unspoken feelings of the employees are taken into account. There has to be a general attitude of empathy. There cannot be apathy amongst team leaders. You can't have indifference. But you need to see that everybody's emotions and everybody's say has been taken into account. Also, you need to act as a harmonizing influence. A team leader has to see that harmonious relationships are maintained. If there is any kind of upheaval in the team, it has been sorted out. Rough patches have been smoothed out so that everybody feels good in terms of the operation of the team. You also need to be clear when communicating how things are going to happen. Like everybody has to know where everyone stands, what are the responsibilities, what roles they are playing, what tasks have been delegated to them. Everybody needs to have those requisite skills. If they have any problem, there has to be clear, concise and specific communication amongst all and open communication. There needs to be an environment where interdependence is there and employees understand it. They trust each other. They are willing to cooperate with each other. They are also willing to share ideas with each other. You can't have people being very privative about aspects which are essential to complete jobs of the team. So you need to have mutual trust, dependency, cooperation, as well as a feeling to share information mutually and work to motivate each other in a better manner. There may be time when you do tasks and you encounter problems, so you need to delegate problem solving, come up with clear solutions so that the team is able to do the task in the best possible manner. Also, if you see that few people are not having proper communication or few gaps are there in communication, then as a leader, facilitation of the communication is to be there, wherein you encourage people to open up, share ideas, be a facilitator, get people to brainstorm their ideas, get people to open up, share what they're thinking, what they're feeling, so that everybody is able to then come in an open environment. Also, the team has to establish certain goals and values that they would follow. Every team needs to have a core philosophy. How are they going to work on? They need to be clear on the ideas that integrity is utmost important. Everybody has to be honest with each other, not cheat, not backbite. Also, they have to see that there are certain goals that the team has to follow and they have to establish values what the team would stick to in terms of punctuality, in terms of discipline, in terms of getting things done, in terms of not procrastinating work. So a value system of a team has to be accomplished, which each one of them agree to and adhere to. And you have to do that by not encroaching on others' ideal systems, but a clear value system has to be established so that everybody is good with it. Also, you need to make sure that everyone has a clear idea about the set objectives. What are we going to establish? What are we going to accomplish? And how are we going to accomplish? So, use of consensus is very important. You put things out in open, you plan together, you act upon accordingly. You get to set objectives, everyone to get set objectives, know where we are heading. If there are problems, you involve others to solve problems. So it's basically an open door policy. You're not working in a hush-hush thing where power is centralized and people are not feeling equals, but rather you give people equality. You involve them to have a say in the plan for action. You also set rules for the team so that nobody oversteps boundaries or nobody goes out of the accepted parameters. You also establish a method how consensus would be appeared. Parameters are seeing that how consensus building sessions could be there so that people don't overstep boundaries, people listen to each other, people come up with ideas, brainstorm plans that could be adopted so that clear roadmaps could be made up and everyone would know what one is heading for and how the team is going to function and how the team is going to work together to attain specific objective goals.